Good evening, everyone. I'm still not used to intro songs. Me and Joe Matt's been doing the DFS show on Fantasy Six Pack for I think now 4 or 5 years. We've never had one, and every time I
Oh,
come on show with an intro, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I forgot." You can't start talking immediately. But
I mean, you
what's up?
can, just nobody's going to hear you.
No, that's fair. Yeah, and if you know me, that's part of it. Everybody's got to hear what I have to say because it's so important.
Ah,
Do not adjust your screens. I am not Nate, and Lou is not me. So we're changing things up tonight. I am going to be hosting. I'm Keith Flemming. Welcome to the Optimus Fantasy Friday Vibe Show, and I'm very excited because Lou has been very kind in our interactions on like social media and Discord and stuff like that. But we've never actually had this kind of exchange, which I enjoy this part of it. Like actually, not really talking to anybody in person and just doing a show. It's just great to be like, okay, we're going to figure this
yeah.
out on the fly. But Lou, how are you
So you
doing,
can
man?
chop it up a bit. I'm
That's
good,
right.
man. I'm good. It's the holiday craziness and everything like that. Not only is it fantasy football craziness, but now obviously you got your tree behind you there. It looks beautiful.
That's all the
Yeah.
wife. It's not me.
I
I
mean,
promise.
whatever it is, it looks beautiful.
Oh,
So
she
my
does a great
comments
job
your
with
way.
all that stuff. I'm just saying anything that looks good, it probably didn't come from my direction. So
I understand that feeling very well. But yeah, it's nice and wet up here in the Pacific Northwest, and
So
just
where are you
you know,
at?
I'm up outside of Seattle actually,
Okay.
so almost as far as it can possibly be from you, and still be in the U.S.
The home of Nirvana, man. I'm all for it, dude.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We actually got to visit Kurt Cobain's hometown while we were up here and
Really?
check it out. Yeah, I understand why he turned out the way he did. Let me put it that way.
Oh, I
It's
mean,
bleak.
dude, it's one of the saddest stories ever. Just because, like, I've read some books about him and stuff, but
Mhm.
I just, man, I really wish that, he wouldn't have taken himself from this world because I think he was a musical genius. And I was very excited to see what they did next because I think they would have evolved as time went on because they did a lot of different stuff. The Nirvana
Yeah.
Unplugged is still one of my favorite albums
Oh, it's
of all
incredible.
time. And that's like
Incredible music.
a pretty hard rock alternative type band where it was just cool to see. But we're not here to talk about Nirvana or Kurt
No.
Cobain. Let's start. And again, if you have any questions, please drop them into the comment section. We would love to answer them. But let's start with the Lions Cowboys. Do you want to take a minute and say prayers to anyone playing Jamar Gibbs that needs to get in the playoffs right now?
Oh boy, man. And see, I felt bad because I have my playoff
Shirley.
spot locked up in the
Oh,
one league that I have Jameer
rub it
Gibbs in.
in.
Right. So like I'm sitting here going, I don't even care what this turnout. Oh, he's gonna have one of those games. Got it. Got it. And of course all my friends are like, I can't believe he's doing this to me. What the heck? And just absolutely burlap sacks, flagellating themselves just in the city streets, ashes, it's just the whole 9 yards. I feel terrible for them, and also like, get good. I don't know.
So, I mean, I was very fascinated to see who won. Was going to win that game last night. Big game
Yeah.
for playoff implications. Dallas had like clawed their way back into this thing, only to now. That's a pretty tough loss. If the Eagles don't implode, I don't see them now making the playoffs. Maybe if they went out. But Detroit is the thing I'm more concerned about because it's really sad to say, but they may have missed their window the last 2 years to win a Super Bowl. And it's not their fault. Like, I mean, the injuries last year were just,
Oh my God.
unbelievable on the defense. It seemed like every guy that was a difference maker got hurt last year on their defense. But
I mean,
we know
it
how
was.
short those windows are, right? Like, I'm worried that it's already, passed them by because I don't think this team has any chance to win a Super Bowl. Don't you agree?
I mean, it's tough to say. It's tough to say that they do, right? Because I mean, their record is what it is. And granted, teams get hot and they go on runs, and we saw what the back in the New England Patriots wannabe undefeated season. We saw what a 9
Yep. The G-Man.
team can go on a run to go on a run like that. Like not in the postseason. Like this is an offensively skewed team that. I mean, you've seen the lack of Ben Johnson at times this year. That's not saying that they don't still have great players because they do, but you felt the lack at times.
No, I think that's the point. Because when we see what Chicago's doing, right?
Right.
It's definitely, you can see what's missing because the
Yeah.
Bears do not have yet anywhere near the talent on offense that the Lions do. They have a lot of guys that I think it could end up being very good on that roster, but like not, already, some of the best receivers, best running backs in the league. And it's just hard to deny that. And that's the other thing I feel bad for the Lions, because this sounds like something the Falcons would do, and we did. We went to the Super Bowl, obviously blew it, and Shanahan left. Everybody knew Shanahan was the reason we were really good that year. Like, everybody in the know knew, oh, we're screwed because the guy that made Matt Ryan an MVP, he's leaving. And I feel kind of a similar situation in Detroit where Dan Campbell is a good head coach. That is, it's like not meant to be any disrespect to him. Like, it was no disrespect to Dan Quinn. But when you have that guy, especially when they're an offensive guru, if you will, it sucks to let him go, especially seeing now that Ben Johnson also pretty good, like head coach, general manager. I can't believe they're 9-3. Like, it's still shocking to see it.
The teams that they're beating, that's the impressive thing to me. Like, this is a good Green Bay. Well, I mean, how good they are, it's up for debate and everything like that. But at the very least, like, this is a top half of the NFL type of team, right, in Green Bay. And same thing with Philly. Like, these are the best teams in the NFC at the very least.
Right.
That Chicago's beating. And in that whole realm of you got to beat the best to be the best, that's what they're doing so far. And you can only play your schedule, right? Well, they're 9-3. That's not nothing.
And so good in one-score games, which that is something we saw with the Chiefs last year, who I think were 11-0 or 11-1. The difference this year is they can't win close games, and that's what usually happens. You have to ride that wave and take advantage of it. Chicago they have belief. Caleb, no matter how many people want to argue otherwise, he's a good quarterback. Like, yeah, is it still raw? And is there still a lot of like, dude, what are you doing there? Of course, he's like 23 years old, but the talent's there. Like, he's already like, some of his incompletions that he throws down the field are some of the most amazing things I've ever seen, because it looks like he's going to get hit by 3 different defenders in the backfield. He somehow escapes and then still has enough juice off balance to throw it 30, 40 yards down the field. And are you excited? Like, which Bears receiver? Because I'm a DFS guy. DJ Moore, I would think, would be the guy that's going to see the most volume. But do you think Luther Burden is actually the guy that could go ham? I also remind people Zacchaeus had a lot of good games when they were a little light at receiver too. Which way would you kind of steer this week if you're wanting to put a Bears in there for a Dunze?
Colston Loveland.
Oh, I like. He said, I'm going to go D, none of the above. Love it.
Right. And the reason for that being, like, what have the Bears done and done really well throughout this winning streak and done better? See, Carly gets it right here. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. The running back. They've been running the ball like crazy, like Detroit has done over the last couple of years with Montgomery and obviously Gibbs, like we were talking about. They've been doing it like crazy. So what's the thing? Who are the guys that really are going to benefit from a strong running game, that play action running game that Ben Johnson loves? Yep. And it's that move tight end, that Sam Laporta, if you will. And we've seen Caleb's trust in Loveland grow week over week. Yep. Some of the throws, some of the windows that he's trying with Loveland. Oh my God. Mwah! So good.
When you score a touchdown like they did versus Cincinnati, a walk-off, I think that earns you a little trust. Because he just snatched that ball and took it to the house.
Oh, and I forget who it was. I don't think it was Philadelphia, but it's one of the games since then. And Caleb, and it was another goal line reception. Like, he made the catch as he was crossing the goal line, and it wasn't a window, it was a keyhole that Caleb fit that ball through. And you don't throw that ball unless you trust that guy on the other end. Give me Colston Loveland. That's the guy I want to bet on.
I like that. And that makes sense. And I mean, I think that, again, Carly, we all know she's smarter than us, but the running backs is the real key, because, again, this is what Ben Johnson does. To me, it's been fascinating seeing Jacksonville and Chicago, who both last year were near the bottoms in yards before contact for the running backs. This year, they're near the top in yards before contact. That's scheme, that's coaching. Just like you can see in Tampa, their yards before contact have gone way down. That's why when Bucky's not playing, they're in trouble because he's the only one that can really break and avoid tackles out of their three main backs. So I'm with you though. Easy, Nico. And let's talk real quick about this Pickens Sherman beef because
Sure.
I got a kick out of it being a UGA fan, and also Richard Sherman's a jerk. I think we can all agree on that. Like, if you're not a Seattle fan, who likes Richard Sherman?
I mean, that's part of the trouble, right? Like, I'm a Bills fan, dyed in the wool. I have an appreciation for Seattle being where I am. I can definitely understand anybody who has a problem with Richard Sherman. Absolutely. Like, dude is not shy. And if you're someone that likes your athletes a little bit more on the soft-spoken and respectful
What'd he
side,
say to
he's not gonna be
Crabtree?
your couple.
Remember in the NFC title game?
Man.
You soft or something? What was it?
I don't remember what he said. I just remember that he said it, and it was great. And the thing
Like, is this WWE? What did I miss? That looked like a promo. That didn't look like an interview.
You're not wrong.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Right? But that's part of what makes it fun too. Like, Sherman was always great at that as a player. Like, he was going to get you interested and going to get you talking about it, whether or not you liked him. And I mean, he was good enough. It didn't matter if you liked him or not. He was still going to be good enough.
My only issue with Sherman, and that's why I was kind of proud of Pickens, is effort to me is the one thing you cannot evaluate. You do not know, like, from a snippet play here and there, how much somebody is exerting. Like, are they slacking as he accused him of doing? So I understand why Pickens got, so offensive. Like, he even said, look, you want to actually talk, trash about me as a player and about the game, that's fine. But to say that I'm not trying, like, go F yourself. And that's when he said, hey, don't forget, when you didn't have the Legion of Boom, you weren't that great. We all remember San Francisco, which was just, I thought, pretty funny. But it is a shame that, like, and it's us because we watch it. But I mean, all these NFL guys, like, I want to get the real NFL stuff, right? Like the X's and O's, and hear them talk football, and they turn into Stephen A. Smiths and Skip Baylesses because they have to. I think that's like the only way to really move up quickly in that industry as a player. If you're not like a Tony Romo or something calling games.
I mean, look at who Tony Romo has become, though. Like, he was that guy at the start. Right. That first year or two, he was phenomenal. He was so good. I loved listening to Tony Romo. And I look back at Lou now, that Lou that loved Tony Romo so much, and I hate him because now I just want to slap him with a tuna. Like, oh my God, shut up, please.
Yeah, why are you being this way? Especially when you're right. Like, he was so good at it. He doesn't, like, I don't know if he rocked the boat. It was TV coverage because he did it for 2 years. And then there was a huge shift in the way he called game. And that's why I still say Troy Aikman right now is by far the best color commentator in, the NFL space, just because he actually will call out criticisms, and he's not, criticizing somebody's effort. He's saying, they ran a bad route here. That was a bad throw. But I know it's a tough gig, but I hate that it's all kind of becoming Stephen A. Smith first take stuff. And it's like, there's a lot of people out there that want to talk ball. And like, this is a great opportunity to talk it with somebody who's played it at a very high level. Like, just like with Brady, like, he's getting better. I just want to hear him talk football like that. He doesn't have to try to do anything else. I just want to hear what the greatest player of all time is thinking, right? Like, about the actual matchup, the X's and O's. And he seems to be getting more comfortable with it. Oh, we got a question real quick. Let's go ahead and get to this one. So he wants to know, Jaden or Baker rest of the season?
Yeah. This is a good question. I have Baker simply because I have more faith in the overall offense, mostly because he's getting his weapons back. Now, I know Jaden is as well, or we've seen what this season is for Jaden. It's that snake bitten sophomore season, right? I feel like we've been seeing this a lot recently.
Would
You know,
would you play
Stroud.
him?
This week?
Well, I'm just saying in general. Would you, if you were the Commanders, would you even let him play rest of the season?
No,
Okay.
absolutely
I completely
not.
agree. Yeah, I don't know why they're not shutting him down. They have their draft pick. It's only going to improve by not playing him. And this is a lost season. It's kind of like with the Giants with Dart. I understand because he's a rookie, it's different, but I worry he's going to get hurt too. These running QBs, like the more they're out there, the more likely they're going to get hurt. That's just the way the game is.
And it's not just the running QBs, but it's how they run. These are guys, they don't avoid big hits. Like Russell Wilson, no matter what you think about him now, when he was coming up in Seattle, dude never took a big hit, ever. Nobody ever got a solid shot on him. That's the type of running quarterback you got to be as a young guy to survive, to be a running quarterback as an old guy.
Right.
And yeah, so I have a really hard time with, like you said, you know, why are they bringing him back? Not just a better draft pick, but just you're gonna turn the dude's brain into soup. He's not gonna be able to trust his body. Like, this is a franchise that had Robert freaking Griffin. What are you doing?
Yep. No, you're preaching to the choir there. I mean, in a vacuum for this like answer, I would rather have Jaden. Like, I just think that if you're telling me they're both going to end up being healthy rest of season, I would pick Daniels. I don't feel comfortable with that because I feel like either A, they will end up shutting him down, or B, unfortunately, he'll end up getting hurt. But I mean, the thing about Daniels, like, I think he's a great value on DraftKings this week, even in a tough matchup. He's 6K. And I mean, the dude, even his worst games this year, he scored at least 16 points. He's historically been great in domes. I think, played 4 NFL games in a dome. He's almost averaging 25 points per game in those. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? You get somebody who is that fast on, turf. It's like, look out. But I also have concern for Baker. I think that they're going to lean into Bucky rest of the season. We saw it on, Sunday. He forced 9 missed tackles. He was out 7 weeks. Tucker forced 12 in the 7 weeks he was out, and White forced 13. So that shows how much they need this dude. But that should raise, Baker, to your point. Like, I think just having a run game should help him tremendously, but he does need another receiver because Ibuka, he's good. Like, people, I don't know why they're freaking out. Like, he's just a rookie. They didn't expect him to be their number one option. That's a lot on a young player, and he's struggling. It happens. But I think if you'll see, if Godwin can get going, if Evans can get back, he's going to get, I think, going again.
Yeah, and so there's a few different things here. You covered a lot of great points. With Daniels, specifically to you talking about DraftKings, the problem with his scoring and looking at his dome scoring, 25 points, everything, that was all last year. If you look at his scoring this year, he is significantly down. He's only had a couple points where he's barely broken 20 points, games where he's broken 20 points. So I'm not as on him as you are, simply because he hasn't been the same quarterback this year.
He's just so safe, though, right? Like, that's the thing that I like about him is, I mean, he's another one of those guys like Hurts and them that just seems like he's going to get 16 points even when he plays bad.
You're right, and that's because he's good for like that 40-ish yards rushing, and
if he falls in the end zone, even better.
He's a threat.
Yeah.
Exactly that. So, like, yes, his floor is much better than some of these other ones. With regards to Bucky specifically, the big thing about Bucky coming back is he's so involved in the passing game. Like, he's that guy that he forces all these missed tackles, right? You get him involved in the screen game, which the Bucs love to run, and he can turn a 5-yard screen into a 35-yard touchdown, literally all by himself. With all those missed tackles. That's what you want to see, and that's going to help elevate Baker as well, even more so than some of these receivers, in that he just hasn't had that guy. Rachaad White, as good as he is in the passing game and receiving,
he's not a good running back.
He's I'm going to catch the ball and I'm going to run for 7 yards. I'm going to fall down at first contact. That's just who he is, which is fine. And he's just not exciting. Bucky is exciting, and he will get that done. So, like, it's more than, okay, Godwin's not quite right. Okay, Evans isn't quite back yet. That Bucky, it does help. And with Ibuka specifically, I think people have forgotten the fact that he had a pretty significant hamstring injury that he literally
Mm-hmm.
missed no time for.
Yep.
And
Because he had to
I don't know
play,
about
right? Like, I'm sure that it was like, look, it's either me or what's his name? Johnson is our number one receiver and
or Keith
Sterling
Flemming off
Shepard.
the street, right?
Right?
Like
Yeah, exactly.
that's where the Bucks were at that point. And as you know, if you don't take care of your body, like you don't let it heal, it's not going to let you do the things it normally can do.
Yep.
And I think that is the area that Igbokwe has been living in since that injury. And it's shown in his
Yeah.
play, right? And like you said, it's half of it is rookie not understanding that reality of the NFL that like, no, it's more important that we have you being you than it is you showing up every day. And
Right.
obviously that's going to vary by coaching staff because like some coaching staffs are pretty dodgy. I'm looking at you, Zach Taylor in Cincinnati. I'm looking at you. But yeah, so that's where I am with it all. Like, give me Baker. I see value to both, but give me Baker if I'm choosing one.
Yeah, I like that. All right, let's talk some locks, like guys that you expect to smash this week, or we expect to
Okay.
smash this week. I'm looking at one game in particular, running back. James Cook
Okay.
and Chase Brown might combine for 300 yards. It's really good.
In the first quarter.
Right, like Cook
Yeah.
facing a defense that, most fantasy points to running backs. That's good.
Yeah.
And he scored 20 plus in 3 straight. He scored 20 plus in 8 games this season. The thing that I really love is the Bengals give up 5 yards per carry. James Cook leads the NFL in rushes of 5 yards or more. It's like 46%. But like, for instance, like in DFS, I actually like Chase Brown even more at 6,700 because of the price than I do James Cook. I mean, P-Ron came back last week and it ended up both hurting and helping him because he did lose a lot of touches. I think P-Ron had 15, but Brown still saw 22, went over 100 yards again. And this is a Buffalo run defense that, man, like it's rare this happens. I mean, I know that Ed Oliver injury played a huge part in it, but like they weren't terrible. I know they got lit up by Derrick Henry week 1, but then after that they were okay. And then it's just like the floodgates open once Bijan had that monster night on Monday, and they've never recovered. And if they don't get up early on a team, they really struggle because teams are able to just pound it. So I think that, again, Buffalo, 4th most rushing yards, 2nd most yards per attempt, most touchdowns. And Brown, who I wish I could remember what content creator posted this, but he thought Chase Brown could be the second half MVP. This was when Chase Brown wasn't scoring 8 points a game. And he pointed out, like, the schedule's been brutal. Whether or not Burrow comes back, they're going to get more comfortable in this offense. And all of a sudden, 18 straight and 18 points or more in 5 straight. And he's only had 1 rushing touchdown in that span. So whoever that was, I want to tip my cap to him because that took a lot of guts to not only believe that, but to put it out there on social media because he took a lot of crap for it. But I think that game is not going to be necessarily the shootout that everybody thinks it's going to be because I think both teams are going to really try to run the ball. So I see it being, like a 28-24 game.
Sure. Did you happen to notice how P. Ryan was used? I watched that game start to finish. It was very different because I've been a Chase Brown manager in Dynasty for a couple of years now. I drafted him as a rookie, so I've been watching how he's been used pretty closely. It was different in that P. Ryan has always been the 2-minute guy, the third down guy. This year when his first stint with the Bengals, everything like that, that's the role he fit. It was different this week. He was the middle of the game guy. This is your drive. He got like 2 drives,
the alternating deal.
In a row.
Yeah.
And Chase Brown was the 2-minute guy. He was the end of the game guy. He was the passing down guy.
Like seeing that.
Yes, and if you look at his targets and receptions, that's reflected there. He was Burrow's check down guy. That's exactly what you want out of that Chase Brown role as a running back, and the fact that P. Ryan is now not the threat to that, assuming this holds up,
right?
He was. That's tremendous.
It just raises his floor so much each week, which is great because, I mean, again, he's been a lot better running the ball just in general. But,
absolutely,
the main reason Chase Brown was so high was he was seeing all the snaps last year, and they're definitely, you know, sorry, I want to make sure I get this right.
You're
So
good.
is he asking for next week or this week?
I assume he's talking fantasy playoffs because that's next week,
I
which
got you.
we've got a great article on Optimus Fantasy that goes into all of that, literally streaming defenses for the entire playoffs.
Well, I like
So
that.
I actually ran all the numbers and created the metrics and model for it and everything for us to evaluate. Our
Doing
analysts
the
broke it
Lord's
down.
work, man. I hear you.
And it's not paywalled at all either.
That's amazing.
So yeah, so I mean it's right there. I highly recommend you check it out because I don't have all of that right off the top of my head. Yeah,
Right.
as Carly said, like we've got kickers, we've got all the positions, we've got defenses. It is it's all there. So
I like that. I mean, the Bears are interesting. They're playing the Browns at home. You know, the Bears are a defense that scores. They don't score a lot, but because they create so many turnovers, they have positive points, it seems like, every week. And then obviously, I don't know if the Jags are out there or not. They play the Jets. That's a good defensive matchup. And then the other one, I know the Eagles have looked really bad, and it has been tough. But home versus the Raiders, I think I like their defense in that matchup.
Oh, yeah.
So that's three of them that I like right there, Scott.
Yeah.
Give me somebody either at quarterback or receiver that you really like this week.
This week, Adonai Mitchell.
Yes.
Give me that Adonai Mitchell, buddy. And I'll give you his quarterback too. Ty God Taylor. Right. Welcome back, Ty God. As a Buffalo fan, you are near and dear to my heart. They were dark, dark days, and I appreciate what you did for us.
I'll blame the Chargers medical staff for the darkest days. So
yeah, I mean, listen, there was so many reasons. Anyhow, before I go down that path, but yes, give me all the Tyrod Taylor. Give me all the Adonai Mitchell. I kind of did think that we could see Tyrod Taylor unlock the Jets wide receivers. Like, look what he did for the Giants guys last year, right? Like coming in for Russ Wilson and everything like that. Like he made the team look functional. Granted, then he died 2 weeks later because he takes the hardest hits of any quarterback I've ever seen in my life. And dude is built like my 14-year-old kid. But he can spin the ball and get it to his guys.
He can throw. He's got such a beautiful deep ball. He really does.
Like if it wasn't for Russ Wilson, we would talk about Tyrod Taylor's deep ball. Yep. Like that's just who he's always been. And like, yeah, the Jets are bad. Exactly. They're bad. They're going to throw the ball. They don't have a choice. They can't run the ball.
Yep.
And I hate to cast aspersions at the Falcons. Like I understand people being nervous.
That's okay. We're awful.
Been so bad against the pass recently. But like Miami's not good. They're bottom 10.
No.
So I mean, the matchup sure shouldn't scare you off. So yeah, I can't believe I'm saying it, but give me the Jets. Let's fire up some Jets.
I think that game's got a chance to be a sneaky shootout because the Jets have been real bad versus the run since getting rid of Quinnen Williams. The Dolphins have completely kind of remade this offense into a run-first offense, despite it being Devon Achane, who I did not honestly see him being a bell cow. The way he has been used, it's been pretty crazy. So, like the tight end position this week, I love Brenton Strange. I know he's still available in some leagues. You should definitely try to target him if you can. But if you have Tyler Warren and you've been waiting, patiently going, man, what happened to all those, huge games he had? He's been great, by the way. It's just he unfortunately started off so good that it looks like he's, tapered off when in reality he's just had more normal tight end lines. But he's facing a Jacksonville team that over the last 8 games, just 2 tight ends, they've allowed 56 receptions for 584 yards and 6 touchdowns. And Tyler Warren is one of the 2 or 3 guys that it's almost impossible to cover anyway because he's just so good. If Daniel Jones was healthy, I would say that like he's 100, like in 100% of my DFS lineups this week. I don't care if it's cash or MME. But because Daniel Jones is not, I will caution it just slightly. But I love both tight ends in that matchup. And that's another game that if Daniel Jones is just relatively healthy, I think there's going to be a good bit of points scored.
Yeah, it's with the Jets, kind of getting back to the Jets, it's either going to be like 41-38 or like 13-9. It's not going to be anything in between. It's going to be one of the two.
Yep.
I've been a fan of the AFC East for way too long. It's going to be one of those. I don't know which, and it's going to be banana pants crazy one way or another because these are two bad teams. There's going to be bad football. I just hope it's fun bad football and not like, oh God, why am I watching this bad football?
Right.
And yeah. With what was the other matchup you were just talking about? I just completely.
Oh, Jacksonville, Indy. Oh, no worries.
Yes, Jacksonville and Indianapolis. And like Indy's been wobbling a little bit, right? Like you see the axle starting to go a little bit.
And the Texans are coming. Like they better look out. Like Houston's good.
I mean that's the thing about this time of year, right? You got a defense, you play. That's just how it is. And Davis Mills did enough to keep them relevant.
Doesn't it feel like their offense is coming on too? Like to me, they got all those rookie receivers. Higgins is now becoming a focal point. They've kind of allowed Woody Marks to become at least a 1A of the two backs, and he can make more explosive plays, better in the pass game. Schultz is having a good year. And the big thing with Higgins and them is just Nico Collins is that dude. Teams have just been putting 2-3 guys on him all year because they're like beat us somewhere else. And now that Houston can, I think that, again, their offense doesn't have to be great because their defense is great. It just has to be efficient, right, which it seems to be trending in that direction.
It's definitely getting better. I am not a CJ Stroud believer, mostly because I don't – kind of what we're seeing with Brissett and Murray in Arizona, we kind of are seeing something similar, and I'm not a Davis Mills guy at all in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
So the fact that he's come in and the offense looked better than it did with Stroud,
right,
that's a problem. That's a problem for me. And Stroud, like, came back. He doesn't look great. He doesn't look bad. To be very clear, he doesn't look bad.
Right.
And he still makes these plays and misses these. It's that he misses the plays, turning down throws that he should make. Where I just look at it and go, "You're not the guy that we saw your rookie season. You're not just going out there and just letting it rip, not thinking about it. He's very clearly thinking about it." If you a baseball guy at all, Keith?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I say you're not throwing, you're aiming when it comes to like pitching,
right,
what I'm talking about,
yeah,
right? It's the same sort of deal that I see with CJ Stroud. He's not going out there and throwing, he's aiming.
It's a shame too, because it's another example of where they made some questionable decisions with their offensive line. And I think you can mess up these QB's internal clock. And that may be exactly what happened with Stroud, right? Is like now he's not comfortable back there because he's been getting lit up. And it just, I think it does affect them. The A.D. Mitchell call was great for a sleeper. I also really like Devon Vele this week, if he is available. Only his second, game as the quote unquote starter, number 2 receiver. He's now seen 15 targets in those 2 games. He caught all 8 targets last week for 90 yards and a touchdown. And he's just a monster of a receiver. So like he's going to be a difficult matchup no matter what. And then with Olave kind of banged up, that should give him some more opportunities. And quietly, Tampa Bay's pass defense has just been dreadful. I mean, they've all of a sudden allowed 270 or more passing yards in 4 straight and 10 passing touchdowns in just their last 4 games. And that also includes Josh Allen's 3 rushing touchdowns. So really, they've allowed 13 touchdowns to quarterbacks in their last 4. And I hate saying nice things about the Saints. I'm a Falcons fan. Kyle Shuck has looked pretty good. Like he has, like for what he has around him and like the limitations of that offense, I've been impressed with some of the throws and stuff he's made. I thought he's
that's so
terrible.
Many qualifiers, and I love it.
It is
because it's perfect. It's perfect. It really is, though, because like, well, it's good. I don't know if I'd say good, and then you start putting the qualifiers on. I'm like, okay, yeah. You consider the offensive line has got 7 Methuselahs playing on it at this point. They've got wide receivers.
Tomorrow's washed.
Right. We're on Devin Neal now, which, yay. Juwan Johnson, he was supposed to be the guy 5 years ago. It's Chris Olave and, like you said, Devon Vele, who, as much as he was traded for a bag of peanuts, he was okay in Denver as a rookie. Not great, because nobody's great in Denver, but he was pretty okay. And that'll play in New Orleans, because there's a lot of guys who are not.
And they've always used it's funny, these big athletic guys to score touchdowns everywhere. Yeah. I mean, it's just
funny how he comes from Sean Payton.
Yep. And I mean, it's also just funny, again, the AD Mitchell and Vele both kind of, Vele got traded for nothing. Mitchell, whether they want to say it or not, he was a throw-in to the deal. But I do think that the Jets are going, look, this guy was very talented. He still had one of the best separation scores in the NFL his rookie season, which that's a good sign when a guy can just, like, if you're not playing zone, good luck covering that dude. And you're seeing, like, I mean, if I'm the Jets, I'm so fired up. Like, both New York teams should be very fired up going into next year, because Giants get back Neighbors. If they can somehow get Scatterboo healthy by the start of the season, you maybe add some stuff in the draft. Like, I like their pass rush, etc. Like, they're going to be better if they're up in games than down. And then with the Jets, I mean, they got all those draft picks. All of a sudden, you got potentially Garrett Wilson, A.D. Mitchell, John Mechie as your receivers. Like, those are three good receivers, talent-wise. I really like Mason Taylor, their tight end. They're going to have to do something about the running back, and obviously the real question is they got to find a quarterback. But it is, doable. And I think that they are doing what more NFL teams should do. Like my Falcons, who have refused to do this, and we're going on 7 years of not making the freaking playoffs. Like, they do it in the NBA, but in the NFL, rarely do teams just break everything down, sell everything off, and basically start from scratch. It's what the Jets are doing, and it was the right move.
Well, and we saw the Rams kind of do that.
Yeah.
They won their Super Bowl. It wasn't nearly as extreme, obviously, but they started trading 4 picks instead of trading them away, and that's how they ended up with Jared Verse and bringing this.
And our pick next year.
I mean, I wasn't going to bring up James Pierce and how terrible that was. That anybody who knew the Falcons and had studied James Pierce knew exactly how this was going to play out in the moment that trade happened. And especially with how Atlanta started off the season, I was like, maybe it'll be okay. No, it's not okay.
He's a good player. It's the point of, you had not made the playoffs in 6 years. And you only make that trade if you're confident you're going to make the playoffs. Or you're a GM on your 5th year without a winning season, and no matter what, I better get things going or I'm out of here. And that's, like, to me, the frustrating thing was he gambled away our future, when even with the trade, like, I thought, we have a chance to go 9-8, 10-7, maybe win the division, but I did not feel confident we were going to make the playoffs. We got still too many holes. It's what happens when you take Bijan Robinson a year after Tyler Algier, a 6-rounder, rushes for 1,000 yards, and Jalen Carter, one of the biggest difference makers in football, is right there. And you're like, no, we're good. We're good. We'll take the running back.
Yep. It's a tough world to live in, man. It really is. And I feel for Falcons fans. I know I don't want to say self-inflicted, because we don't choose our fandom necessarily.
Right.
It is what it is. Like, I was a Bills fan, since the late 1980s at this point. That's a long time for you kids out there. I was in middle school when we lost 4 Super Bowls in a row.
I couldn't imagine.
Oh, I tell you, it builds character. They talk about character building events. That's one of them right there. You can't hurt me. I hurt me.
Right.
That's just, and I have to imagine it's something similar as a Falcons fan.
Oh, it's awful.
You don't know what it is. Like, I was watching, on social media when, the Bills were playing the Falcons on Monday Night Football here a few weeks ago now. Just seeing the doomerism among Falcons fans, it was funny, because I knew how it was going to play out and what my team was not capable of. So I get it.
We're always waiting for something bad to happen. And they're loyal fans. We come back that's what I tell people. It's like, you root for these losers for, 3-4 decades and see how, Like when people give them crap for leaving games early or showing up late. And I'm like, traffic's awful. And these guys suck. What do you want us to do? Like, we're here.
Right.
Okay. Like, give me a break.
Right. It's traffic in downtown Atlanta. That is no joke.
Oh, it's awful. We got a couple of questions I want to ask you about the fantasy playoffs, and then we'll get out of here. All right. What we got here? He needs a flex, PPR, Jacoby Myers, Igbuka, or Neal. Go ahead, Lou. Take it away.
I like Jacoby Myers this week. Parker Washington's banged up. We know Jacksonville's going to have to throw the ball against that Indy offense. Indy doesn't have Sauce Gardner now, and their pass defense was leaky even with Sauce Gardner. So give me Myers. I mean, really, I can keep going, but why talk about the others? Just give me Myers.
I'm glad you said that because that was my answer too. But I was like, man, I wonder if I'm going to get hammered for this because of Ibuka. But I just look at it. Myers has scored in 2 straight. He just joined this team. I mean, he's only played 4 games. He's led them in receiving yards 3 of the 4. His fantasy points have gone up each week. And he's by far their best pass catcher right now. Like it's really not even close. So, and also I'm just happy for Jacoby Myers, who's a good receiver,
right?
And he keeps getting stuck on these awful freaking games, man. Really bad. All right, we got next. Jaden Daniels back. How are we ranking him this week? Daniels versus the Vikings or Bo versus the Raiders?
I mean, it's the Raiders. I got to go Bo Nix. The Raiders, I mean, against an AFC West team. I mean, the Raiders so clearly don't know what they're doing, don't have an identity or an offense. Yeah, it's.
You mean outside of throwing it to Bowers? That's a good idea.
Right. Fantastic idea. Fantastic identity. They should do it more, quite frankly, a lot more. Okay, off that soapbox. Anyhow, defensively, I'm not sure that they could stop a plastic bag blowing down the street, let alone the Broncos. And that's just as weird as this Broncos offense is, it works. And I don't understand it, but it does. And for some reason, I look up every week and Bo Nix has like 20 points.
Yep.
I don't get it, but it happens. So I'm rolling out Nix. I don't trust most quarterbacks against Minnesota, let alone coming off of a horrific elbow injury in an offense that's been dicey at best throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd still probably lean Daniels slightly just because of what he's done historically. I mean, basically the same thing, Nix has in the sense that they're both quarterbacks going to get you 15 to 20 points. And a big part of it, I'm not going to lie, is just my bias because I didn't think Bo Nix would be any good. And it's kind of, befuddled me that he's actually been, a winning quarterback in the NFL because he struggled in college. I'm not talking about Oregon. I'm talking about we saw him at Auburn numerous times at UJ, and he was terrible. Here's a good one, too.
I'm right there with you on Nix. I'm convinced. I didn't like Bo Nix coming in. I think Sean Payton hates all of us. So you put them together and we get this unholy marriage. That's what I'm convinced is happening.
That's good stuff. I can't stand Sean Payton either, again, being a Falcons fan. All right, what up? Got Andrews or Waller? What? That boy, Keith, let's learn how to talk. Or Waller, already in the playoffs, but I can knock out older bro with a win for the cherry on top. Man, that is what you call going into the playoffs in style, my friend.
Yes, that's it right there. That's the goal.
Man, I think I'm going to lean Waller. Baltimore, I'm assuming that's going to be a rock fight. It seems like no matter what happens when Baltimore and Pittsburgh play each other, you get like a 16-13, 17-10 game. Yes, Waller could score a touchdown because it seems like lately he scores a touchdown in basically every game Lamar plays. But I don't know what's up with Lamar. I don't. But 3 straight games with less than 10 points, no touchdowns, which I guarantee there's never been a point in his career he's gone 3 games without a touchdown. And then the scary thing to me is he's not running like at all either. So, if I was Baltimore, I would be leaning on Derrick Henry very heavily. But I thought that's what they were going to do against one of the worst run defenses in the league in Cincinnati last week, and they gave him like 8 touches. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I at least know Waller is at worst, like probably the 3rd option in that Dolphins passing game.
And they're playing the Jets.
Yeah, and they're playing the Jets.
I'm with you. I went into Lamar Jackson and his struggles. He's basically, that old children's song, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. That's basically Lamar Jackson right now. It's his knee, it's his hamstring, it's his toe, it's his foot. He's got all these things, and that's that mobility that he relies on, and it's in built into every facet of the Baltimore offense, right? Like that was the whole thesis of why he and Derrick Henry work so well, is because they both have such gravity to them. The entire defense, you got to pay attention to that guy above all others, and now there's two of them on the field.
And you get Zay Flowers in one-on-one situations, Mark Andrews, where they could beat their man.
Right. You get defenses breaking containment and breaking their rules for coverage and that sort of thing. And we've seen all of that break down. We've seen the running game break down. We've seen the passing game break down. We've seen Lamar not be able to extend plays. Like, when was the last time you saw him exit the pocket and get caught from behind? Literally never. I've seen him get caught from behind and just get enveloped by these defenders like 3 times in the last 4 weeks. And it's so alarming because, like, that's not the guy I've been watching.
Didn't he put on some weight before this year? Because I had somebody telling me early in the season
that was a couple years ago.
Slow. Okay.
That was a couple years. He does look slow right now. And that's that time that he missed. Or no, right now he's got the hamstring injury and a toe injury. And what was it? It was his ankle, I think, that kept him out a few weeks. Yeah. But, like, this is what I mean. Like, this is his injury.
It's not good when you can't even remember how many, especially lower body parts that are messed up at this time.
Exactly. So he's just not Lamar Jackson right now. Not the Lamar Jackson. For me, I'm leaving him on the bench until he has that I'm still him game on my bench. So getting back to, our boy's question here. Give me Waller. It's the Jets and Dolphins. Like I said, it's either going to be 41-38 and I want a piece of it, or it's going to be 13-7. I'm willing to bet on the 41-38 because
their defenses are real bad.
Both defenses are really bad. And let's get some points. It's good for fantasy. Let's lean in.
And Darren Waller, man, what a story. All right, we got another one here. Needs 3 of this group. I think they're all wide receivers. Nico Collins, Chris Olave, Devontae Smith, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel. Nico Collins and Olave for me are automatic, right?
Okay.
Or would you? Okay. Then for me it would be because you got to deal with Philadelphia's passing offense right now with Devontae Smith. And then not only, we'll see what Jaden Daniels is back. Minnesota is very good versus wide receivers. I would probably lean Deebo just because Minnesota blitzes a lot. Samuel runs a lot of underneath routes. I would think that maybe means he sees a high, target volume this week. But McLaurin would be the one you just scratch out. And then for me, between Deebo and Devontae, but I'd lean Deebo slightly.
And that's fair. I actually have Nico the highest, followed by McLaurin and Olave. I wasn't expecting anything out of McLaurin last week, to be perfectly frank with you.
He was great.
He really was. And he wasn't even playing the full complement of plays that he normally would. Like, he was clearly working back into it. And he was fantastic. I get what you're saying about Minnesota.
No, I guess you're right. That was a good Denver defense.
Right. That's
and they get pressure. And
Surtain was back. So it's like, it's not like they were lacking anything as far as firepower goes. And that was with Marcus Mariota.
I was going to say, definitely Daniels, no matter what percent he's at, he's a better thrower than Mariota. We can say that.
And I don't want to have to trust the Philadelphia offense is what it boils down to. Any piece of it right now outside of Hurts, because we know he's going to get his somehow.
Yeah.
But outside of him, I don't want to trust any piece of it. Like Devonta Smith, he's getting all the targets you could want, and he's still finishing as like the wide receiver 50, the wide receiver 90. Like, what are we doing?
It's not good when they're talking smack about their quarterback on podcasts and in the shower and everything. I understand the frustration. It's like, you guys are the defending Super Bowl champs.
I
Okay.
mean, it's
So like,
Philadelphia.
well, that's true. And I mean, that's what, I think that like if they ended up winning the Super Bowl again this year, this would be the perfect Philly season because they would have been able to
Yes.
bitch and moan about the team all year and still win, which
And then
that's when
win.
Philly fans are happy. Again, I'm a Braves fan, so Phillies fans are the same way. Like they want to be able to complain about the team but still be good. It's remarkable. It's very Philly. We got, let's see here. I now have Jane Daniels, Dart, Knicks need to drop one to free up Daniels from his IR spot. Knicks is the odd man outright, unless I drop Corum or Gainwell. I would
QB
not
league.
keep all three QBs, right? If it's a one QB league. Where are you leaning? Because I mean, that's a tough, like, it really is tough. I mean, you could actually even make a case that I'd rather have Knicks and Dart rest of the season than Daniels, just because I'm pretty sure that, obviously Knicks is going to be starting unless he gets hurt. It seems like the Giants are going to play Dart rest of the season. I do wonder, like, how long is this Daniels thing going to go on before they're like, okay, enough is enough. Let's shut you down.
Right. Like he's one
It is a
minor
one
injury
QB
away
league. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. Daniels is definitely like one even minor injury away from just getting shut down for the season, right? Like he tweaks an ankle and they're like, okay, you're done, right? I'm with you. I'm not gonna lie, Keith. It was you talking about Jackson Dart. This was weeks ago now, and how good he is on the ground, and as far as like how that that boosts and buoys his value and everything like that. Like that's the thesis with Jackson Dart, and he doesn't look any different running the ball coming back, post concussion. Which, for better or worse, he looks like he's still gonna mix it up in there.
Oh, he's crazy. So of course he is.
Yeah. And I've not seen what I've needed to see from Jaden Daniels this year when he's played and been healthy, even to say that he's worth holding over those other two. I understand picking him up in case he does, and in case one of the other guys gets hurt.
I know league this last week.
Right. Well, I mean,
why not? I was weak at quarterback too. It's like, let's go.
No, I remember when Trone Force here, was asking about it a couple weeks ago. I get it, and now you're at that decision point, and it's for me. I'm that guy. I'm gonna say you keep Knicks, you keep Dart, and you let someone else fall on the grenade of Jaden Daniels.
Yep. And again, if you just want to, go with Daniels, that's cool. And I probably, my concern though, again, because I think Dart is actually the most valuable of these three guys right now at this moment. And what scares me is Dart could eventually get shut down, right? Like exactly what I'm saying, where the Giants, say he gets banged up and they're like, okay, same deal. We've already lost Neighbors. We've already lost Scatterboo. We're not losing the QB too. That's the only reason it concerns me, because like in a vacuum, I would agree with what he's saying. Like you just drop Knicks, play, take Daniels and Dart. But what happens if ends up both of those guys don't finish the season, and then you go from a position of strength to a position of crap? What is on the waiver wire? Somebody would pick up Bo Nix, I'm pretty sure.
And that's the thing, right? Like you can do that with anybody. Like what if they get hurt? What if you got Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, they both get hurt? Like there's nothing I can do about that.
Yep.
The thing with Dart is that he's got an interim coach there that wants to be a head coach. So he's,
and the team apparently, or the players like him from what I've read. Like they want to win him the gig, basically.
Well, and I know that Kafka is respected enough around the NFL that he is likely going to be one of the hotter names. Good young offensive mind, especially now that the bloom has kind of come off of Joe Brady a bit here in Buffalo. But yeah, like he's going to be in demand is the point, wherever these coaching vacancies end up. And if I'm the Giants, or if I'm him, I want to throw, I want to look good for the Giants. I believe in this quarterback. We've got a running back. We've got Neighbors there, like you're saying. Like we've got some pieces here. We've got some pieces on. We've got some dudes on the offense. Defense. Like that D line is something.
Yep.
can nobody behind it play a lick? But that D line
that's
is
the
something
problem. They
else.
can't tackle
Yeah,
behind it. That's the issue.
right.
All right, so
You
we've
can
gone
work it.
about an hour. So
Yeah,
there's one question I want to go for before we get out of here.
yeah. Hit me.
Playoffs getting ready to start. Are
Mhm.
you somebody that if you had your choice, would it be more teams make the playoffs? You just do 1 week per matchup. Less teams make the playoffs, but you do the 2 week matchups, which it does seem kind of silly, right? That we do like 11, 12, 13, 14 weeks. And then if you're, say, I don't know, 14-0, let's say it's that way, you get a
Mhm.
bye and then you get beat by a team that was 6-8 or whatever and snuck in. At least if they beat me over a 2 week period, I'd feel a little bit better than I would over a 1 week period.
And the way I look at it the same as penalty kicks in soccer and shootouts in hockey. Like, why are we changing the game completely right at the very end?
Yep.
Play the game that you've played all year. And that's me. I'm not saying I'm right. I am saying that that's the way I like to play.
Right. Yeah.
So if you enjoy that, by all means, and more power to you. I hope you win every single one of them and it never comes back to bite you, because it definitely has with me. I'm in both ways, and that's part of it, right? This is a really random freaking game that we try to make sense of and we're good at, and it's still really random.
It's poker. I mean, that's I think
Yeah,
what attracted me to it, especially like to me, DFS is poker because it's the same
sure.
thing. You're trying to play percentages, right? Like, well,
Hmm.
this guy's ownership, just like knowing how many outs you got probably to win a hand, etc.
Yep.
But no, that's great stuff. Lou, this was fun, man. I'm glad that we
Yeah.
got to have our first hang and conversation live on
Say, buddy.
Optimus Fantasy. Do you want to plug some stuff on Optimus before we get out of here?
Oh man, I am. For those of you who don't know, I am kind of the modeling and data guy behind the scenes. I've created the weekly and rest of season models that power all of our projections, um, and in turn feed to things like betting tools and trade analyzers, trade value. Right now, I'm currently working on our Dynasty playbook,
I'm
which
excited about this. You told me before we started. Sounds exciting.
it is mind blowing and game changing things. I'm so excited to be done with it, so that way I can roll it out to y'all, because I am over the moon excited at the real actionable materials that I'm going to be bringing you. It's not about like making all of this even more mysterious. It's really about
Right.
breaking it down and
Simple.
making it
Yeah.
easy for
Mm-hmm.
people to make good decisions and say, okay, maybe I don't agree with doing this, but I understand why this is the way that it is.
That sounds like me and Joe Matz's explanation every Friday on our DFS plays. I tell people all the time, they may be terrible plays, but I promise you they're going to be backed by logic, data,
Yep,
and reasoning, or I would not
exactly.
be sitting here giving you this spill. We're not throwing
Exactly.
stuff at the wall. I promise you. Like we're too
Right.
OCD for that in the first place, and we're both huge nerds, so we love
Yeah,
doing homework.
exactly.
So, but
Yeah,
I
exactly.
did. No,
Yeah,
go
what do
ahead,
you
Lou.
do
I'm
for
sorry.
fun? Homework?
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I like to mess
Yeah.
around with spreadsheets, normal stuff, dude stuff, if you will. But
Dudes being dudes. Yeah.
this has been a lot of fun. Hate that Nate couldn't make it tonight, but it ended up being a good thing, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he will be back next Friday for the Friday Vibe show. And you guys got a show? Is it tomorrow or was it last night? I
It's,
get them mixed
Sunday.
up.
We have two on Sunday actually.
Okay.
We do the start sit show Sunday morning. Get everybody geared up with those last minute questions. We always love having people in.
Oh yeah.
That's at 11:30 Eastern, and then later on in the day, we've kind of been playing with some different times, so I'm not going to plug a time. But we do a Sunday wrap up show as well, where we run through all the goings on of
Yeah,
the week and the
that's
slate.
it's a fun show.
Yeah, it's good times, and I get to talk more football, which who doesn't love that?
Amen to that. But well, again, check out all the amazing stuff on Optimus. Follow all
Cheers,
the
man.
social media channels, and we'll see you guys here soon. Later.